Today, we're diving into the weird side of the internet, like really weird. Think digital ghost towns, memories that might be glitches in the Matrix, and AI celebrities with a thing for spaghetti. Buckle up.
It's amazing how these internet mysteries, from the dead internet theory to the Mandela Effect, really make you question what's real online anymore.
Right, and that's what we're exploring today, all those strange corners of the internet that make you wonder if you've slipped into an alternate dimension. And for anyone who hasn't heard of these internet oddities, don't worry, we'll break it all down. Starting with the theory that claims most of the internet is basically running on fumes.
You mean the dead internet theory? Yeah, the one that says a lot of what you see online, like social media posts, comments, you name it, isn't actually coming from real people.
So it's more like bots, AI, that kind of thing, instead of actual humans.
Exactly. Think of it like a mall on a Wednesday. There are a few people around, sure, but it's mostly empty stores, mannequins, that eerie silence. That's kind of what the internet might be like, at least according to this theory.
That's both fascinating and a little creepy, to be honest. Makes you wonder how much of what you see online is real people and how much is just, digital smoke and mirrors.
It's a tough question. And what's really interesting is that the source material claims this shift toward a less human internet happened around 2016.
2016. That's right around the time things started getting really weird online in a lot of other ways. It's like someone flipped a switch or something. Like, remember all that talk about the Mandela Effect?
How could I forget? That's when a bunch of people have totally different memories of the same event.
The one that always gets me is when Nelson Mandela died. Was it in prison in the 80s or was he president of South Africa later on? People swear they remember it differently.
Yeah, and they describe these super vivid memories even if they don't quite line up with, actual history. And then there's the Berenstain Bears versus Berenstain Bears debate.
Oh, don't even get me started on that one. I still can't believe it wasn't Berenstain this whole time. And what about the most misquoted line in movie history?
Wait, are you talking about Darth Vader saying, "Luke, I am your father"?
Yeah. It's crazy how many people remember it that way.
It just goes to show how powerful the Mandela effect can be.
So what's the deal? Is the internet messing with our memories? Are we all living in a simulation? Someone's got to have the answers.
Well, some people do believe those are real possibilities, but others say it's just our brains trying to make sense of the world, especially with so much information coming at us all the time. Like, we tend to remember things in ways that are more meaningful to us, even if those memories aren't totally accurate.
So our brains prioritize a good story over the facts. Sometimes.
Sometimes. But whether it's faulty memory or something weirder, it really makes you wonder, what else have you misremembered because of the internet?
It's a bit freaky when you think about it. And speaking of freaky, have you heard about those AI-generated videos of celebrities eating spaghetti?
Oh yeah, that's where things get really interesting. And by interesting, I mean bizarre.
Like, why spaghetti? It's such a random thing for AI to focus on.
I know, right? But it makes you think, what's going on in the digital minds of these AI programs? It's not like these videos are selling anything or promoting a cause. They're just out there.
Maybe the AI is just really into celebrity gossip like the rest of us. I don't know, it's hilarious and creepy at the same time.
It is pretty wild. And it brings up all sorts of questions about our relationship with AI, celebrity, and the future of content creation. Like, are we so hungry for entertainment that we'll watch anything, even if it's computer-generated simulation?
And speaking of things that are both fascinating and unsettling, have you ever gone down the rabbit hole of YouTube's analog horror? Get ready for some serious chills because we're about to dive into the world of creepy VHS tapes and internet nightmares.
Analog horror. It's that feeling that something's not quite right, like you're watching something familiar, but it's off just a little bit.
It's like finding an old VHS tape, right? But instead of home videos, it's full of static and weird stuff you can't explain. I've seen those videos online where people find these creepy takes and they're always like, what is this? I have to watch it.
Every video is made to look like it's from an old VHS tape, but there's always something creepy about it, something unsettling.
That reminds me of all those creepypasta stories. Remember those? It's like urban legends, but for the internet. Except with analog horror, it's not just text. It's the grainy VHS look that makes it even creepier.
And it works because it plays on those fears we have, the ones we can't quite explain, like the feeling that something's watching you from the static on the screen.
It's like nostalgia, but with a side of nightmares. Why do you think people are so drawn to this stuff, though? Why does it freak us out so much?
I think it's that mix of the familiar and the unknown. You see those old VHS tapes? The content might even look familiar, but then something's not right.
Like finding a childhood toy that starts talking to you. Okay, That just gave me goosebumps. But I get what you're saying. It's the disruption of something that should be safe, something we recognize that makes it scary.
And that brings us back to what we're really talking about today. The internet's uncanny valley. All these weird, unsettling things, from the dead internet theory to the Mandela Effect to AI eating spaghetti and now analog horror. It's like the internet is becoming more and more detached from reality.
It's like we're creating this online world where anything goes. Facts don't matter, time is meaningless, and you can never be sure what's real anymore. It's kind of exciting in a way, but also kind of terrifying.
The source describes these things, these internet oddities, let's call them the symptoms. Like the internet is sending us signals that it's changing, evolving into something we don't fully understand yet.
So instead of connecting us to the real world, it's kind of pulling us away from it, into this digital funhouse mirror where nothing is quite as it seems.
Yeah. And sometimes it feels like we're along for the ride whether we like it or not.
Have you ever felt that, like you're scrolling through social media and it feels like you're seeing the same posts, the same news stories over and over?
That's the dead internet theory whispering in your ear, man. It's like you're trapped in this digital echo chamber and there's no escape.
And then there's that feeling that you could have sworn you remembered something one way, but when you look it up, it's totally different.
The Mandela Effect. It's the internet's greatest illusion, making you question your own memories. It's enough to make your head spin.
It's like we're all trying to put together this giant puzzle, but someone keeps switching out the pieces when we're not looking. So we're trapped in this digital puzzle, but the pieces keep changing. It's like we can't trust anything we see or remember online.
In a way, yeah. It's
Yeah.
definitely a different landscape than what people imagined back when the internet was just starting out. But, you know, even with all the weirdness, the AI spaghetti monsters, the haunted VHS tapes, there's something kind of beautiful about it, too.
Okay, I gotta ask, what's beautiful about AI eating spaghetti? Am I missing something here?
It's not just about that. It's about the bigger picture, right? Think about everything the internet has made possible. It's a place where time doesn't really exist, where memories can converge and creativity can just explode in ways we never could have imagined before.
So you're saying instead of freaking out about the internet becoming this dystopian wasteland of misinformation and, whatever, we should just embrace the chaos.
I wouldn't say embrace the chaos necessarily, but
Yeah.
learn to appreciate it, maybe.
Hmm.
It's like any art form, right? It's
Mm.
supposed to make you think, question your assumptions, and sometimes, yeah, it's going to freak you out a little.
And maybe make me question whether that video of a celebrity eating pasta is real or not.
Exactly. The point isn't to log off forever and become a digital hermit. It's about finding balance.
Finding balance. Easier said than done, right? How do you even do that when it feels like the internet is everywhere, all the time? Asking for a friend, obviously.
It's about making conscious choices. Like, put your phone down every once in a while, go outside, talk to an actual human being face to face, experience the world offline. Remind yourself that there's a whole world out there beyond the screen.
It's like, enjoy the digital spaghetti, but don't forget about real food, too. That's a good way to put it.
Something like that.
Well, on that note, I think it's time for us to log off, grab some real food, and try to remember what reality even is. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the internet's uncanny valley. Remember, stay curious, question everything, and don't believe everything you see online, especially if it involves AI and spaghetti. Until next time, happy diving.